Hello everyone, this is Abir Salam, also known as the Noble Player, and today I'm going to be doing a review for The Fall Guy. I just saw this movie yesterday, and I really want to talk about it. So in this film, we have Ryan Gosling, who plays Colt Seavers, a prolific stuntman for action movies, and after he gets into a major incident, he goes into retirement mode for such a long period of time, and later on, he gets called back into action because the lead actor of a major movie production, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, gets kidnapped. And so Colt has to actually save the lead actor in order to save an upcoming movie production in which the director of the film is Colt's ex-girlfriend, Emily Blunt. And so this is an action comedy romance film that's going to be kickstarting the summer movie season starting from the beginning of May, so like right now up until the end of August. And I can tell you from my opinion, that this is a very nice way to kick off the summer movie season, quality-wise. I can't say for its box office because it's underperforming right now, the box office from what I've been reading, which is kind of disappointing. I hope it does get some better legs as it goes along, but there's so many other movies coming out that might take away its box office, but that's a different story for another day. I want to talk about the film itself. So the thing that I really like a lot about this movie, as this movie is being pitched to you as an action film with comedy, with romance also included into this film, so different genres mashed into one movie. I thought for the most part they handled all those different genres very, very well. As an action film, there's going to be a lot of really great set pieces with a lot of great stunt work. You have comedy throughout it that, at the very least is humorous. Maybe it's not as like laugh out loud funny, maybe, depending on how you feel about it when you watch it. But for the most part, it does deliver on some comedy bits. And there is a romance that happens between Colt and Jodie, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's characters respectively, that really, really works in the film. In fact, I would say the plot of this movie, in terms of saving a lead actor, saving a movie production, Ryan Gosling's character trying to actually get back into doing stunt work again. I think this whole story is really centered around, and it really is hinged upon the romance in this film. And I think this actually really benefits a lot for the film. I think it gives a lot of heart throughout. I think it gives a lot of depth throughout, and it gives a good way to care about the story and the characters throughout the film. As far as I want to first say the romance goes, I think with Colt and Jodie's characters, I think they actually really did a great job. They have such great chemistry together. I think that, like I mentioned, brings a lot of heart throughout the film, and that said a lot for me because specifically when it comes to romantic comedies, I have not liked romantic comedies over the last 10, 15 years. I think it's been played out, and I think it's just very corny and cheesy for no reason whatsoever. But in this film, because Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt have such wonderful chemistry and they play off so well with each other with such extremely likable characters that you get behind. They have they tell you in the film they have a very long history together before the incident happens, and they sort of became very sterile. They became very cold, at least in the beginning of this movie. And again, it does a good job, bringing a lot of the weight and emotion that you want to have for a film like this. As far as an action film goes, it's extremely, extremely exciting and very nice to watch, especially on the big screen. This is directed by David Leitch. He's a stuntman. He was partially responsible for the first John Wick movie. He did Atomic Blonde, Bullet Train, which I absolutely loved. He also did Deadpool 2, which was also pretty good. And he has a very good eye. Obviously, he was a stuntman before he became a director. So he has a keen eye for stunts, especially getting a lot out of his actors who aren't maybe generally known for doing action films, being able to perform their own stunts while also having a nice visual flair towards his camera work and the objects surrounding each frame. This is a PG-13 action movie, which I was surprised how much I really enjoyed it, especially for the director who does a lot of more hard, all-rated action films, a lot of blood and guts throughout. But in this film, I didn't feel like that was missing at all. I felt like, for example, because of the stunt work, you feel the punch when one character punches another person. For example, you feel the weight of that punch. Every action sequence is so visually vibrant and stunning throughout that really makes it feel very cinematic, and it doesn't feel like it's staged or anything like that throughout. And as far as for example, the comedy goes, I mentioned before, the movie does have a lot of really good humor throughout it. I will say maybe as one of my negatives of the film, maybe it's because of my expectations and what I would have thought going from the trailer. I thought there was going to be a lot more comedy throughout it. Now, to be clear, I don't want a film to be overtly ruined or overfilled with too much comedy, because I think a lot of films today, especially in genre movies, have been completely overshadowed by like inappropriate comedy bits that don't fit a certain scene. But to me, in this film, it does really work. It does work throughout it, but I did feel like, for example, I was more like, chuckling throughout the film. I didn't feel like there was as many like gut-busting, like funny moments that maybe I would have liked. So maybe I would like a little bit more from that. And as far as the tone goes, it's actually very consistent in the way that it's able to blend different genres together. And they have a really nice, soundtrack that plays very well throughout, every single scene, whether it's a character moment or whether it's, it's an action set piece that plays throughout. I will say that I want to say the performances also are extremely good. Ryan Gosling, I've liked him a lot as an actor, but I love the fact that he's doing more comedies now. I thought after watching The Nice Guys many years ago with Ryan Gosling, wonderful film, very underrated, nobody saw it. I was like, this guy, Ryan Gosling, should actually do a lot more comedy. He's a great dramatic actor, but he should do a lot more comedy, especially because he's got so much charisma. He does really good at physical comedy, in my opinion. He's done a lot of good work since then. Even in Bobby, which I hated, but I thought Ryan Gosling was the best part of the film. I'm just Ken, or I can't get enough. I don't know the whole dialogue, I'm sorry. I'm trying to imitate his version of Ken from Bobby. It's very bad, I'm really sorry. But I'm very happy he's doing more comedy roles like this. I hope he does that more in the future. And Emily Blunt was very good as the love interest who plays Jodie, the director for the movie. Emily Blunt, what I like about her a lot as an actress, she has so much charm and such amazing screen presence throughout. That, for example, when she feels sad, for example, no matter what the writing is, if she's sad, for example, you feel for her. When she's happy, you feel happy, for example. This just goes very well into, her performance. Like, her facial expressions are so good. And like I said, she has so much charisma on screen. That's why I really like Emily Blunt for such a really long time. And I'm glad that she's really good in this film. She works for this type of movie as the love interest that propels the story. And I want to say also that Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays like the lead actor that goes missing, he steals the movie. His character was so fascinating to me on so many levels. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it's extremely entertaining. And I like what Aaron Taylor Johnson really did with this role. At the same time, I also want to say that this movie is also a really nice love letter actually to the filmmaking and stunt work that goes throughout it. Not just with some of the action set pieces throughout the main story, but in the movie, because they're making a new film, actually a major production film, they go into, like, for example, like how stunts really go in the film, special effects, how some of these producers and some crew members are extremely sleazy and lazy in how they want to make a movie, for instance. It's really nice commentary throughout, and I really, really appreciate that. A movie that's able to tackle that, especially within this type of story. And other than that, I also want to say, beyond the comedy, which I thought sometimes was hit and miss as the negative, I thought that the film was a little bit too long sometimes. The pacing, especially at the beginning of the film, getting adjusted to the tone and getting adjusted to, some of the characters, especially when it's not so funny at the beginning, until it gets later on a bit more comedic at the later on throughout the film. But other than that, I really enjoyed this film. I think you guys are really gonna have a good time if you give it a chance. If you like action, comedy, or romance, any one of those genres, I think you'll find something to like about this movie as well. In that case, on a scale of 0 to 10, pratfalls and stunt work, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's really good. I definitely recommend it. I had a really good time, and I think you guys will have a good time if you give it a chance. And that's kind of my review. I want to know what you guys thought of the film down below in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you not like the film? Are you going to go see it? Or are you just going to wait? Maybe it's on streaming. Personally, I recommend you go see it in the cinema if you can. And other than that, I'm really excited about what I'm going to be able to do this week. I got, movies to watch. I've been playing Hades 2 on early access since yesterday, which I love. And I'm going to try to make a video of that when I get the proper footage for it. And if you guys like more videos about this, movie reviews, video games, reactions, live streams, for example. Hope you guys can like the video. Maybe you can subscribe to the channel. I'm really excited to see where this goes throughout. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.